I have to ask, how many fantasy football players have you heard from in the last 24 hours?
Mark was filling me in that there were some unhappy players, and I respect that. I used to play, and I get it. It's a great game. Glad they're so passionate about it, but we got to do what's best for the player and his safety.
Do you play this season?
I was really good. The year I played, it was like Tom Brady's 50 touchdown year, and I had all those guys. So it was a rout. I can't say that.
You had some inside knowledge, though. That's not really.
Yeah. I felt pretty good about how they were going to do. Got those guys early.
The game yesterday, you did mention obviously that you want to be very careful with David, and there are people that have asked, why would you have put him out there at the beginning if that was it? Was there a thought process?
David's a warrior. He's a tough guy, and we wanted to see, and he wanted to see if he could go. And after the first few plays, it didn't feel right, and we knew he didn't look right, and so we got him out, and he was still in an emergency position for us because that's all we had. But you got to give him a lot of credit for trying to go.
So did you re-aggravate anything? It just
No,
didn't feel right?
just didn't feel right. We're hoping. I talked about Friday. If we played Friday, he wouldn't be able to go. We hoped over the next 40 hours he could get there. We felt like in pregame he had a chance, and once we got out there, it just wasn't working.
When you knew the weather was going to cause you to pivot to more of a run game, did the O-line, did you sense that they kind of embraced that role? And because they went out there, obviously, made some huge holes for Shane.
No question. I think they understood it was going to be more of a ground game in that weather, and I mean that was O-lineman weather, and they embraced it and had a great attitude on the sidelines and really helped us win that game because it was tough sledding trying to throw that thing and catch the ball, and those guys stepped up.
Coach, you got 3 wins in a row. How difficult is it to get 3 wins in a row?
It's always tough. Football's a humbling game. It's a tough sport, and you have to give the guys in that locker room a lot of credit for sticking together through some tough losses early and a lot of adversity, and have continued to get better, and hopefully it continues.
It's been reported you guys are working on Jay Ajayi and Spencer Ware. Is that because of the uncertainty around David and DJ Foster?
It is. Both those guys are day-to-day currently, and we'll continue to bring guys in throughout the season to take a look, and this is no different.
Did the weather and the field condition make it any worse for David?
That's a great question. It probably didn't help, I think, the cold and the rain and the slick turf. But it was more just when we saw him out there in live action, it wasn't clicking like he can go, and so we kind of backed him off.
What did you learn about your offense having to run it in that weather?
They're a determined group, and I didn't call a very good game at times. I put them in some tough spots, and they kept finding a way to pull us out of it with great runs. And I thought the perimeter blocking by the wideouts was very unselfish, if you will. And nobody was complaining about not getting the ball and that we weren't able to play it. They played harder in their roles and blocked really well. And that's a sign of a good offense that can step up. And if something's not going well, step up your other part of the game.
You showed a willingness to adapt, either run, pass, or personnel-wise. Did that crystallize for you at some point in your career? Like earlier, were you more stubborn about not wanting to adapt, or was it always something?
No, it's always something that made sense to me. Play to your personnel and call things that give them a chance to be successful. It started with quarterbacks and making sure I built the offense around the starter with things that he wanted to do and coach him the way he wanted to be coached. And then it's just kind of carried over to every personnel group and trying to maximize who they are.
What was the difference with the defense yesterday? 8 sacks, 3 turnovers. What was the difference?
There was a number 21 on that field that is pretty good. I mean, that brought a lot of confidence, a lot of swagger. I mean, the way he carries himself, he's one of the best players in the league, and he definitely helped. But all those guys have gotten better. A lot of those younger players are getting more reps and more live game reps. And, Chandler was phenomenal, and Sizzle, and I just think it's a group that's getting better. You throw in 21, you throw in Vance being able to make some calls that maybe he wasn't able to make previously without him out there. It was a combination of things.
Kyler's thrown 115 straight passes without an interception. That's impressive for any quarterback. How impressive is it for a rookie quarterback?
Yeah, it's impressive overall to play his style of football and this style of offense as many times as we put the ball in his hands, and to have as few turnovers as he has. That's a credit to him and the way he's playing the game. Particularly yesterday, you saw the nasty conditions, and he took care of the ball, and that's why we won the game. They had 3, and we had 0, and gives us a chance to win that football game.
What were your thoughts on how effective Chase was?
What's that?
What were your thoughts on how effective Chase Edmonds was yesterday?
He did a great job. I've said it all along. He continues to earn more and more reps with the way he practices, and when he gets his opportunity in the games, he's making big plays. He does everything right at practice, off the field, in the weight room, and so you like to see guys like that have success.
Daniel Jones got hit blindside a couple times for the fumbles, and rookie quarterbacks probably go through that. Does it seem like Kyler has done a good job of sensing that presence and hasn't fumbled off the hit yet?
I think a combination of our offensive line protecting well and him having a good feel for where his pressure is coming from. And then he's very, as you've seen, he's very quick to twitch. I mean, he can get out of a small area pretty quickly, and he has a good feel for when to go down and when the party's over.
We had talked a lot about Pat Pete kind of having a domino effect of like making all the defense better. Where did you see that most tangibly when you were rewatching the game?
Him taking away probably the first read in the progression for a young quarterback, I think it made the young quarterback hold the ball a couple times where he may have went to Pat's guy. I mean, you're not going to challenge Patrick too much, and so he had to hold the ball, try to get through other reads, and I think that was, watching the film, I'm not sure how their offense works or how they're coached. Watching the film, I do believe Pat was able to take away that first read on several occasions.
In the second half and kind of down the stretch, Chase had a little bit more trouble getting anything done. Were the Giants just kind of waiting for you guys to run at that point with the weather?
No question. They understood that it was hard to throw it, and so they were playing accordingly. And luckily, we were ahead at that point, and you could see, the struggle that it was for the Giants to try and throw it every snap when they were down. It was tough sledding in the passing game.
Patrick lined up mostly on the left side, I believe, yesterday. Is that because the Giants maybe didn't have a dominant number one receiver, and could that change with Michael Thomas this week in the sense that he'll follow Michael all over the field?
We're going to do what's best, for the defense week in and week out, and they had a great plan for Patrick last week, and I'm sure we'll have a good one this week.
Conversation about Chandler's been he's underrated, not voted a top 100 player. Do you think
That'll
changes?
change? Yeah, that'll change. You watch the film week in and week out, and he's been pretty dominant, and just having the intimate knowledge of watching him practice and work out and the way he carries himself and the way he works at it, he's definitely one of the top players in this league.
Coach, you got some social media feedback on wearing red yesterday instead of your traditional black. Could you not find a black jacket, or what was the difference there?
I'll just take what they give me, man. That's it.
If David's injury is lingering, how much of your offense will you change based off personnel, or just kind of keep it as it is?
We'll have to adjust some things. Knowing the running back depth, maybe not as much two back. You want to make sure whoever that back is healthy, and so we'll have to be smart with our personnel groups and how we're rotating guys.
Is Christian going to be just see how he progresses through the week?
He will. He'll be day-to-day again. I mean, we felt like he inched closer this week, but those ankles can linger at times.
Is DJ Foster, is he week to week?
He's day-to-day. Yeah, he's day-to-day.
Prepare for the noise this week at the Super Bowl.
You can't really simulate it outside, I don't believe, but we're going to have the music cranked up loud and do the best we can with trying to make it tough on our guys communication-wise.
How much have you studied of Sean Payton's offense, and what impresses you about what he does as a play caller?
A ton of it. I mean, he's one of the guys that I've watched probably the most throughout my coaching career. Just he does such a phenomenal job of getting people open and finding matchups and adapting to his personnel, and the consistent success he's had throughout the league is phenomenal, and so a huge fan of his.
You know him at all, or?
I've met him, but I don't know him well.
He wasn't all that favorable of hiring rookie coaches out of the NFL. College guys come in. Is that a concern at all?
No.
When you look at their offense, Bridgewater's obviously played well. They run in the same offense.
They do. He has a great command of it. He's protecting the football. They're playing great defense, getting through his reads, and he's a starting quarterback in this league. You can tell that when he's playing. And anytime you lead a team to 5 straight victories, I believe, you're playing at a high level, and I think he's making himself a lot of money right now.
Coach, thank you.
Thank y'all.